Today, we are having a very important workshop, and this is getting organized by Dhairya. Dhairya, of course, has been a very active public speaker. She is really invested in all of your success stories. She's impacted over 5,000 people. When we look at content curating space, that's her fuel, as a LinkedIn profile also talks about. She's been a keynote speaker. She is, of course, associated with Dhairya Decodes. And how this is so brilliant, the way that, despite being an electronics and communication engineer, she's turned herself and made a heads up in management consulting, has been working with KPMG, and has been trying to make sure that, she shares all those industry relevant insights, has done over 25 plus internships in multiple management domains. And that's essentially the sort of experience that she gets on table to share it with all of you. We are able to see that she's a podcaster as well, and I'm really looking forward. This is the second time that I'll be hearing her in a live manner, so I'm really excited about that. And each time, I think there is a takeaway to pen down for sure. LinkedIn has, of course, become a very important space, especially when we're talking about personal branding. We can't really help but we need to definitely make sure that we're invested in our LinkedIn profiles for building a cultural capital, for networking, for making sure that our personal brand gets visibility. And what's interesting is the way that Dhairya's LinkedIn profile is so sanitized, bulleted, everything is easily accessible. And who better than Dhairya sharing this, or rather spearheading this entire LinkedIn workshop for all of us. Of course, we're really looking forward to the entire session, Dhairya, and I'll let you spearhead the entire conversation. We're really looking forward to how we can make sure that we sanitize our LinkedIn profiles. We are able to do a hygiene check, because it's so important and imperative for networking, for our personal branding altogether. So over to you. And I'm really looking forward, and so are all of us, really looking forward to this LinkedIn workshop.
No, firstly, thank you so much for the lovely introduction. The pleasure is all mine. I love interacting with the student and the working professional community. I think, as you said, it's not just content creation, but being able to create an impact in people's lives and their careers, what fuels me the most. And thank you so much for that lovely introduction, for the warm welcome. I'm really looking forward to this workshop. And what I want towards the end of the workshop is, for the ones who probably already have a LinkedIn account, which most of you would have, is to be able to understand and open up your minds to what more you can do with it, and understand the seamless and endless possibilities. And for the ones who are already probably doing it, just to help you take it to the next level. So I'm going to try my best. And I do understand that probably most of you would want to get into finance based roles. If not, that's completely okay. I'll try and customize it and curate most of the things by giving examples relevant to finance so that it makes more sense. But in general, LinkedIn profile building is a very generic thing, and you need to understand it, in depth. So before we get started, I want this session to be very interactive. You can feel free to ask me any kind of questions at any point of time in the chat. I'd also like to come back for some questions that you would want to ask me by unmuting yourself, if that's allowed towards the end. You can do all of that. But the point being here that we require a two-way interaction, because I'm not going to be sitting and giving a monologue, right? I would require all of you to be participative. So let's start the session on the note of me trying to get like a tally or a survey of thoughts as to how many of you have been actively utilizing LinkedIn, and the ones who do, what do you utilize it for currently? So I'm assuming most of you have LinkedIn profiles. If you don't, that's okay. But the ones who have LinkedIn profiles, do you utilize it? Are you an active LinkedIn user, or are you a passive LinkedIn user? If you're an active LinkedIn user, what are you utilizing the platform for right now, currently? That, like, what do you go to LinkedIn for currently? Okay, so Asta is a passive user. That's completely okay. There are a couple of active users attending webinars and job search. Okay, guys, whoever's saying active users, do let me know what do you use it for as well, right? And be super honest, whether it's job search, networking with people, it's talking companies, whatever it is. I'm looking for jobs, courses, and job search. Okay, by finding perfect opportunities. Okay, hiring purpose mostly. Wonderful. Internships, active users searching for internships, jobs, networking, internships. So what, I know that not everyone has responded yet, but what I can make out from most of the responses is internships, jobs, networking. These are the three things that are recurringly coming up. So one thing is for sure that most of you are utilizing it for that. And to my surprise, it's the most, I mean, not to my surprise, this is what I obviously expected. Now, have a LinkedIn account but not using it actively, checking profiles to learn skills, also making connections with professional people like you. Wonderful. Okay, so what I want you to actually understand before we get started with the session is that one misconception that a lot of people have, and even I had, was that LinkedIn is a job search platform. While it has a powerful job search functionality, let me tell you, LinkedIn is not a sole, job search platform. In fact, LinkedIn is a social and a very professional networking platform, right? It's a professional networking platform, it's a social media platform for professionals. And what really happens is, if you've got the right profile and it's optimized well, and you're connecting with the right people, then yes, you can utilize it to land a job, then you can utilize it to land an internship, then you can utilize LinkedIn to probably get freelance gigs, to maybe build a personal brand, etc. But what people think is all of this that I said later is something that you immediately do by just coming on LinkedIn, which is not true. So if you have an optimized profile, which we'll learn how to build from scratch today, and if you're connecting with the right people, then all of this is possible. LinkedIn is not iamjobs.com. LinkedIn is not monster.com or naukri.com. There is so much more to the platform, right? One tab of it is jobs. And if you want that job, it's not as simple as naukri.com where you just upload your profile and you get a job. That's why there are many layers to it. And the first step to it is your LinkedIn profile optimization, which I am going to try my best to decode for you end to end today. So, with that, let's get started, guys. Thank you so much for your responses. I think it was lovely to hear from you and how you're utilizing and leveraging LinkedIn so far. A lot of you have said you're utilizing it to get finance roles and internships, also. That's great. Okay. So also, I don't have a presentation or anything. I'm going to give you practical insights. I'm going to take you to my LinkedIn profile, and we are going to understand step by step how you can not replicate in terms of everything like my profile to build a profile of yours, but I'm going to break down what you need to put in every section of your profile when you build it and when you re-optimize it, right? So let's get started. I'm going to start sharing my screen. It's going to be a proper walkthrough. So here is my LinkedIn profile, and I am going to run you by the entire optimization process. First thing first, any social media platform, people want to build an image of who am I interacting with, right? Just the name Dhairya Gangwani does not work. We aren't celebrities. And for them to associate your name with a face, which everyone wants to do on social media, you need a good display picture. Now, this is not Instagram where they care about which profile you're looking at, what kind of a scenic beauty is there in the background. It's not about the aesthetics. LinkedIn is, straight cut to a very professional platform. And what people really want here and what kind of a profile you should have, I'll explain it in 3 tips, right? First, make sure that you're just having a straight headshot or a mugshot, which is covering the first half of your body, upper body, essentially. It shouldn't be a full portrayed image or of sorts. You shouldn't be looking towards the left or the right. Look straight into the camera, right? Next thing, ideally be dressed in semi formals, business casuals, Western formals, or Indian formals. I'm not saying that you're going to get penalized if you are in a very casual attire, but it just doesn't look good, to be very honest. Try to keep it as professional as possible. And make sure your background, the background of your image is clean. It should be clear. Even my image, this was just clipped in a hotel room, but I've used Canva to blur out the background, right? Or to change the color of it. Or you can go to remove.bg and put up any image and make the background transparent. So it's not a very difficult task, but there shouldn't be any distractions like a tree, like an object or anything, any individual in the background. It should just be you, right? So if you keep these 3 tips in mind, you're sorted. That's all that you need to take care of on a platform like LinkedIn when it comes to your display picture. That's the first thing anybody would see. Anyone, okay? Next thing that I want to talk about right now, because of the recent updates. So LinkedIn launched their Creator Accelerator program in India, and they announced the results 2 days ago, and we had to put up this banner. So this is not the most ideal banner I want to show to you. My banner was different 2 days ago, but we had to upload it. So because of which you see this here, but I'll still try my best to explain to you how you need to build your banner. So this area, like I already mentioned, is called the LinkedIn banner, and 95% of the people keep it blank, right? It's a green blank space that LinkedIn gives you. Now, if any particular space or field is being provided to you by social media platform, I believe it has a purpose to serve. That's the reason it exists, right? They want you to fill in some information, upload something, share something. While most of the people are not utilizing it, the ones who are doing it are actually the ones who grab most of the opportunities. Why I say so? Right now, I'm on my desktop, right? I'm sharing it from my laptop. The only thing you can see right now, till I don't scroll down, is that you can see my name, you can see my display picture, my banner, and my headline. That's it, right? I'll have to scroll down to show you anything else. Most of us are in a hurry on social media, and it's very important that just by looking at this section of your profile, anybody who's coming onto your profile should feel inquisitive. They should feel like knowing more about, oh, what does she do? Where does she probably study that? Or anything else about you, okay? That's when you'll be able to get users to come and view your profile, maybe, follow you, connect with you, and potentially then with time even reach out to you for a job or for an internship or whatever it is. It's not always, there will be a time, trust me, where you wouldn't even have to go and look out and reach out to recruiters. Rather, it'll be the other way around. That's the power and magic that LinkedIn can create. But coming to the point, what do you do with this banner, right? Again, let me break it down in simple steps for you, and I'll give you an example relevant to the finance domain as well. Let's say if you're in the finance domain, how do you build it? First thing first, you have to build a customized banner. Now, customized banner is basically something where you don't put up a random quote from Google or a random image from Google, etc., which lazy people do. But I think it's still better, because instead of keeping it blank, the green screen that way, it's better to at least have something. So the people who don't want to put in a lot of effort just take up random quotes from Google Images and put it up. But that's not the right way. The most ideal way is that you customize and tailor make your banner. What that means is, essentially, my banner prior to this used to have keywords here, right where I'm moving the cursor. And what were those keywords? Those keywords were resume building, consultant, public speaking, career coach, LinkedIn profile building, personal branding, 300 plus talks. Those were the kind of keywords. And here, where you see LinkedIn Creator Accelerator Program India, there used to be some icons of a couple of top brands that I've worked with, because I'm a content creator and career coach apart from my full time job. So, a couple of organizations that I'd worked with, I put icons of those brands because it's important for me, because I take training sessions, I do brand collaboration. So, it's important for me, and that's why I put it. And on the right hand side, there was another image of mine towards here, exactly here. There was an image of mine which was obviously different from this image, and it was towards the right because of the basic logic that it didn't, it would coincide with the display picture here. So, how do you build your banner? Now, assuming most of you are working professionals or students, and irrespective of the niche you come from and what you want to do, one thing that you have to keep in mind is your banner should have certain keywords which answer three questions. Okay, please note them down if you want to, but this is very important. And while in every session it would be more easy, or give me 1 second, you know what I'm thinking? I really want this to be super useful for you because you could have quickly seen it. Let me try and update my banner for a bit while I'm not allowed to. But give me a second because I want you to understand what I'm saying. Let me put up my old banner. Just give me 1 second. I'll quickly update it because that will help you understand how to do it. I've updated it. It should show here. Yeah, it's loading. Perfect. This was my banner until 2 days ago, like I told you. As you can see, you've got keywords here, you've got featured in here, the brands, some brands that I wanted to show, my picture here. Now, this is built on Canva, by the way. Canva is super easy to use. It's a drag and drop tool. You can use it for free. You've got 1,000 LinkedIn banner templates that you can use. Just go there, drag and drop the text, images, whatever you want to, and you can build it. Literally takes no time, right? But what do you put for your profile or domain? Now, why do you think I've put up these keywords? Because I want to be known for this stuff. The three questions I want people to get an answer for. Now, let me ask you this question. By looking at this banner, do you get the answer to these three questions by looking at my banner? Who am I? What do I do? And what skills do I possess? Or rather, what can I help you with? So, who am I? What do I do? And what can I help you with? Just tell me in the chat quickly. Do you get an answer by looking at this banner to these three questions that I'm asking you? And be super honest. If you're not getting an answer, it's not like you have to be a yes man or something or a yes woman. Okay, perfect. So I'm happy to know that what I'm saying is making sense and most of you agree with it. Perfect. So let's go back. That's exactly what I want you guys to do. When you're making your banner, make sure it's answering these three questions. If it's not, that means your banner is not speaking for itself. That's it. So you have to put keywords for which you want to be known for, or which are relevant to your domain, or which are skills that you possess. Okay. Second thing, you probably, maybe some of you are also content creators, etc. But I'm still sure for most of the people, putting up this featured in section is not applicable or viable for you. So what can you do instead? Now, any domain you are in, for example, most of you, like I said, would be probably interested in finance. And what kind of keywords can you put up? You can put up keywords like accounting, audit, financial reporting, financial modeling, or any other keyword which is relevant to your domain, analytical reasoning, any other tool that you're specifically working on in the finance field, etc. So the point is, the keywords relevant to your career path have to be used here. If someone is, for example, I'm just taking another example to broaden the scope. If someone's interested in marketing, for example, keywords such as digital marketing, marketing strategy, customer acquisition, digital marketing, social media marketing, etc. Those kind of keywords would be used. I've used career coach, public speaker, resume building because these are the services I provide as a career coach. I want to be known for them. So you have to pick up those keywords and put them, and you can put up images replicating those keywords as well instead of putting icons like me, which means you can easily go on the internet on Google. Copyright free websites are available, or even on Canva. When you type in any keyword, you get elements, you get illustrations related to it. If you'll type in finance, audit, anything, any of the keywords, or you'll put in anything like cash flow management or balance sheets, whatever, just some keywords relevant to finance, I'm just taking examples, you'll get a couple of icons or illustrations, you can put them. Why am I telling you to put them? I'll give you a logic behind everything. Human beings visually learn better, right? That's obvious. So if someone, and again, everyone's in a hurry on social media, even the recruiters, let me tell you. So the point is, even if they miss out on the keywords that are there, they will not miss out on the visual imagery. And that imagery, if it's connected to the keywords, they'll be able to relate. Oh, this person is from marketing. This person is, like, if you're in the data science space, something like you can put like, charts and graphs, etc., or something, robotic, so that people relate to it. If it's marketing, you put relevant images. Similarly for finance. So immediately it clicks, right? Okay, at least they'll understand this person works in this domain. You want to communicate clarity, okay, here. So you do that. Picture is optional. Even if you don't have a picture in your banner, it's not compulsory. If you put it, just keep in mind, number one, picture is different from your display picture and it's towards the right hand side, not towards the left. And that's it. You are done and your banner is good to go, right? So that's how you work on your banner. Now we're done with the display picture, we're done with the banner. Let's move on to a very important section, which is called the headline. So I have highlighted it in blue right now. This is called the headline section. What I say most of the people do here is they put up their job titles, their job roles, or wherever they're studying, right? People put up third year BBA student at so and so college, or they put up financial analyst working at XYZ company, etc. While that is okay, why that is not the most ideal way to use it. In fact, that is something you should never do. Again, I'll give you the reasoning to it. I hope you can see KPMG India and Vellore Institute of Technology here. Now, why these icons and these names are popping up here is because of how LinkedIn functions. LinkedIn is picking these two up from my latest experience and latest education. Let me scroll down and quickly show it to you. So if we go down, my most recent experience is with KPMG. That's the company I've been working at ever since I graduated. So it's picked up KPMG. If we go down to my education section, VIT from where I graduated 2 years ago is my most recent educational institution. So it's picked that up. It will do the same for everyone's profile. So what does that indicate? That indicates that you don't have to necessarily and exclusively again mention where you're studying and where you're working. People will anyways be able to see it. Okay. So what do you use this space for? By the way, you've got only 130 characters to fill in here. Characters, not words, which means you have to utilize it to the fullest. So I don't know, but let me ask this question if you've been observant. Has anybody noticed something that I'm going to point out right now based on whatever I've covered so far? And now looking at my headline, anything that any one of you has observed and would like to, maybe mention it? I'm just trying to see how attentive you are. It's quite obvious, by the way. Just have a look at my headline and then, just look at the screen and whatever I've covered so far. Is there something that you see? Anything that you've observed? Sarbani, what do you exactly mean by keywords that describe you? It's unique. I'm not sure what you guys mean by unique. But there were no spaces. No, so also guys, I'm seeing your questions. I'll get back to the questions. Don't worry. I'm gonna come back to the questions pretty quick. Yes, who was this? Nitish. Perfect, bang on, spot on. So let me go back and I would want all of you to observe what Nitish has observed. I think it is pretty obvious, but most of the keywords used in my banner are used in my headline. Can you see? Consultant, career coach, I mean consultant, no career, yeah, content creator, career coach, keynote speaker, etc., etc. The talks, resume, most of the keywords. Why is that? Because we want to maintain a very harmonious and a very synchronized profile. If I put up data science, data visualization, and analytics and etc. Tableau on my banner, and I put up consultant, public speaking, career coach on my headline, it's contradictory. It shows that you are yourself confused and you're all over the place. Always make sure that the keywords used in your banner, most of them are used again in your headline. And also, why is that the case? Because, like I told you, you're answering those three questions while putting those keywords, and those are the keywords you would want to be searched for as well. I'm sure you all know about SEO, which is search engine optimization, and that's what the search engines work on. If you are looking out for a good place to go and have dinner, what you'll do is you'll go on the internet, you'll go on Google and type in good, restaurants near me, or good cafes near me, or good dinner spots or areas near me, whatever, right? Those kind of searches. And obviously, Google will show you a couple of results. It's obvious that we would want to go with any one of the cafes or restaurants shown in the first 10 results on the first page, search engine result page, not on the second or third, because Google is showing them for a reason. They probably have good ratings, good reviews, and for obvious reasons, it's just there, right there, right? So why would you want to go to the second or third page? It's the very same thing that works on LinkedIn. So let's show it to you practically. Let's say I'm a recruiter. I'm looking for an intern to hire for my startup. And I'm looking not intern, let's say I want to hire someone full time. So I'm looking for a financial analyst. Okay. That's the position I'm hiring for. Okay. I click on enter. Now I'm going to be shown a couple of filters by LinkedIn. So let's go through them quickly. I've got people, services, jobs, groups, etc. And these are all filters. I'm looking for people, right? Because I want to hire a financial analyst. I'll click on people. And now LinkedIn is going to show me a curated list of people under financial analyst keyword. Why do you think Harshvardhan, Sugandha, Leroy, Pranesha, etc., Pransi Shah, sorry, Chinmay Birla, why are these people's profiles showing up on the top? By the way, if you go to the bottom, there are multiple LinkedIn pages as well, 2, 3 till 100, and every page is about 10 results. But it's again obvious as a recruiter, I would max go to the second page and choose any one of these candidates because LinkedIn is showing them to me and their profile. That means they're doing something right. Again, if you observe, each and every candidate's headline has got the word financial analyst, the keyword, if you check it out. Okay. But again, it's not that simple. It's not like just because they have that keyword financial analyst in their headline, they are showing up. They've actually optimized their complete profile around that, and probably they're building or curating content or interacting with people in that niche and with those keywords as well. There are a couple of things. I'll talk about all of that, so don't worry. But yes, this is where it starts. So the start of search engine optimization on LinkedIn is from the headline section. That's where SEO on LinkedIn begins. And you have to be really careful. If I have to break it down in layman language in one line, what do you need to put on your headline section? All the keywords that you would want your profile to show up on someone's page for is what you need to put. I want my name to show up when someone types resume building, public speaker, content creator, right? Career coach. I would want my profile to be at least one of the searches, one of the profiles shown when someone searches for those keywords. That's why I've optimized on those keywords. You will have to similarly think of the keywords applicable to you, right? Yes, if you are in the finance space, again, if you've been working as, for example, you've interned somewhere and you've been, let's say, a tax intern there, or you're a tax consultant, or you're working as a financial analyst, or as an equity research intern, or as a financial, assistant finance manager or something. Yes, you can put the title because that also becomes a keyword. But what I'm trying to say is, over and above that, also some skills, tools, other keywords you want to be known for, please add them too. As you can see, I've got multiple keywords, right? So put that, and you have only 130 characters, so be mindful of the terms you're putting in. But that's how you build on your headline section, right? What I'll do is I'll quickly come back and see if I can answer a couple of questions, because again, I just don't want it to be me speaking. What's the app to drag and drop to RHS? So it is basically, it's not an app, it's like a tool that you can use. It's You can obviously download Canva on your phone also, but the web version I think is slightly easier to use. It's better. You can build your LinkedIn banners there. It's called Canva, Canva. Okay, Canva. Do you think it's fine to exaggerate for a new working professional? Well, exaggeration is also very subjective. So, what might be exaggeration for me might not be for you. But in general, I think you should just talk about things you're very, very sure of, that you've worked on, and you're certain of, and you could be answerable. You're in a position to answer anything around it. If any of these things is not possible, then avoid it, right? On your resume and on your LinkedIn profile, both, I would say. What should I do to search for internships which is different from my field? I'll take that a little later. Can you use one of our profiles that will help us make our profile more interactive and see where we lack? So the point is, Nitish, even if I take your profiles, the point is you will need a reference point to see how it needs to look. That's why I'm doing it from my profile, because I'm anyways not saying like I didn't tell you to add career coach or whatever. I'm giving you examples of what all you can put. So that's the reason I always do it on my profile, because it's complete, right? Most of your profiles will not even have the sections and it will consume a lot of time. Like when we'll go ahead, you will see a lot of sections might not even be there on your profile because of the fact that you have just not added it, not that you don't have it on your profile. That's the reason it's always better to do it on my profile, but I'll make sure I'm covering everything. Can you use potential word before our profile if we are a fresher? Yeah, so that's a good question. What you can do instead, Nayan, is, for example, you're an aspiring CA or an aspiring CS, or you're pursuing your CA, CMA, whatever, FRM. Point is that you can put it up, right? Aspiring or CA aspirant. You can put that up also, because that word, that keyword CA, FRM, CS, CMA has come, right? That is what you wanted. So that's completely okay. I had just done my graduation and currently pursuing CMA US. What should I put on my profile? So obviously, Gauravdeep, you will know about your skills better. To be in finance, you basically need to be building on your basic financial understanding of financial, at least basic financial modeling, financial reporting. CMA US is one keyword you can use. If you know Excel, which you would be knowing if you're in the finance field, obviously, that can be put up. If you know any other financial modeling tool, also that can be put up as a keyword. If you're into, like I said, if you understand cash flow management, you understand how to read balance sheets, you understand how to manage P&L accounts, or anything else, you can put that. Just put keywords relevant to either a skill or what you've built on, etc., like I said. So those are the kind of keywords you'll have to use, and I'm not really sure of your entire profile. So it'll totally depend on what you've done and what kind of skills you have gained from various courses as well. Some people are also in the risk management field. You can put keywords like risk management, also financial analysis. There's so many keywords, right? It really depends on how confident you are about that skill and have you actually worked on it and built on it. Is it beneficial to add online course done by me? We'll come towards it. You'll get an answer to that when I'll complete the demo. Okay. Can you review my profile? I've cleared FRM and want to become a risk analyst. If we get some time towards the end, I can, but not right now. Sorry. I'm doing MCOM in international finance. Which skills will help me? Again, Ayushi, you will have to, obviously, you're doing it in the finance field, ACCA. So obviously those keywords like ACCA and whatever you're learning in that course, right? You do your main course subjects that you clear, so those could become keywords for you if they're relevant. And try to look up roles that you want to pursue in the future, right? You want to become a financial analyst, you want to get into risk management, you want to become a tax consultant, you want to get into equity research, you want to get into private equity, do you want to get into any other financial field, mutual fund analyst? There's so many roles. Depending on that, maybe if you read a couple of JDs and you see what skills they require, and then you map it to whatever course or whatever you've done so far, you will be able to analyze what skills do I possess, and then you can put them. I think that's the most practical way to do it for anybody. Okay, I think you should do that. So I spoke about display picture, I spoke about banner, I spoke about headline. Let's move on quickly to the next section. I'm sure a lot of you might not have this section on your profile, I'm certain. This is called the featured section. All sections can be added by clicking on add profile section, by the way. So when you go back, just by clicking on this one button, every section, just expand, core, recommended, and additional. Every section I'm going to show you can be added from this one button. Okay. Featured section is a highlighting section, right? If you go to any store to kind of shop, what you see on the display, put on the display is what attracts you to go inside and shop, right? This is just like that. So these are the most important things on your profile that you want to probably show to people and highlight even before they go ahead and check where you work, which is the experience section or anything else. That's about it. Now, while you can put up numerous featured posts, your top three featured posts is what people have time to look at. Now you can add posts, which is you can create content on LinkedIn, as most of you would be knowing. So if any post that you create is relevant to your career niche, you want to highlight it, it's got good traction, you can put it up. If you write newsletters on LinkedIn, you can put them here. If you're writing articles on LinkedIn, you can add it on the featured section. Links, you can add external links to, could be your personal website, could be to your Instagram page, YouTube page, or a certification that you've done, and there's a link to probably your certificate. It could be a link to literally anything, right? Any external links can be added here. Media is your photos, PDFs, and PPTs that you can add here. Please understand that the point is depending on what phase of your career you are in, will you choose. I put link, this is a link to my Instagram reel that I recently did for a brand, and I put it up for obvious reasons because I just put it yesterday and I've got a larger audience here on LinkedIn, so I want to drive some traction there. That's why I've put it for now. This is my most recent post that I had made on LinkedIn. This is a YouTube short that I put up because I've just launched my YouTube channel. So these are important to me right now. And because of what I do, I'm a content creator as well. Welcome to my YouTube channel, etc. And this is my newsletter called the DD Bulletin. But what can you put here? So as students and working professionals, you can probably put up, a letter of acknowledgement or a letter of recommendation given to you by your internship manager if you're students. That shows, or that's a good thing to highlight on your profile. If you've done a proper certification from somewhere, like I said, please add the PDF version or the image of the certificate of it. That is another thing you can put up. Or let's say you were interviewed somewhere, or you're having your own, social media channel where you're sharing financial literacy or knowledge or whatever. Anything you want to highlight basically can be put up here. But as I would say, as job seekers and as people looking for jobs, ultimately try to highlight anything that will build trust that you have financial knowledge, okay, or in that niche. So I think certifications should be something you should strive to put. And I would say, other than that, any kind of achievements apart from this, again, even let's say if you've taken part in any kind of a competition and you've won it, maybe you would want to show those kind of things as well. You can do that, right? So that's what the featured section is all about. I'll quickly come down to the experience section. It's a very self-explanatory section. Sorry, we'll move to the about section first. So if you look at the about section, this is also called the summary section. At least I call it summary, because what you essentially do here is you tell people more about you than what you just see on a headline, right? Or on a banner. Headline and banner is just filled with keywords. You don't get to explain at length what you do. So what you do in the about section is you talk at length and you share your story here. It's all about storytelling, and you talk about everything you've been able to do so far, right? So if you look at my about section, I start with first talking about what is my basic educational qualification, what do I currently do, what am I doing at my current job role, what kind of technology am I working on, what skills do I possess, what kind of internships have I done in the past. Then I talk a little bit about the organizations I've been involved in so far, what do I like doing, what am I passionate about. So that's my about section. I've started with talking about my basic educational qualification background, what I currently do, where I work, what do I work on. Then I've spoken a little bit about my internships I did back in college, about things I love doing outside of work as well, things I'm passionate about. Then I've spoken a little bit about where I've worked again in the past with NGOs, NPOs, what I also do. Then I've spoken a little bit about the services that I provide because I take individual mentoring sessions. I've spoken about how you can book them. I've spoken about what services I can provide to brands, etc. And then I put up like a CTA, a call to action towards the end, which is I'm just an email away for all things career, personal branding, social media, and content creation. Reach out to me on my email. Now, what rules do you have to follow when filling up your about section? Number one, weave a story, right? Talk to people about whatever you haven't been able to talk to them about in the about section and in the headline and the banner. Number two, use bullet points, make it readable, right? It should be structured. I think I didn't tell Nirja this, but she herself said that her profile is so structured and well put. Why? Because also of the way it looks, how everything is professionally put up, and bullet points have a major role to play in it. I could have very well clubbed up point number one, two, three, and put it in a huge long paragraph, right? But that wouldn't be readable for you. That wouldn't be a bite-sized information for you to consume. and people are again in a hurry. All what this does is, while it is long, right, in terms of length, it is quite a long about section, but because it is readable and skimmable, people can just go through it and kind of figure out whatever kind of information they want to in terms of keywords they want, and then make a decision whether probably there is someone we would want to reach out to, or is she going to be helpful to us, or do I want to probably offer her job or something based on whatever I've written here, right? So make it readable, use bullet points. Also, again, I don't know how many of you observed, but most of the keywords, in fact, all the keywords used in the headline and in the banner have been used again in my about section, because this is another area where SEO comes into picture and the keywords get picked. And I would want to keep building. I'm not saying that that doesn't mean that in every section you sit and put up the keywords. I'm specifically telling you which sections you put it in, right? So if you see in the headline, I just say consultant. But in the about section, I say I am a EC engineer turned management consultant. So I've given more context to what kind of a consultant I am. Further, in the next point I've spoken about, I'm an SAP associate consultant. On the top, in my headline, I just said I've written resume building. But you go down, I've actually told people and clarified that I provide individual mentoring sessions on resume building. So that's the point. You elaborate on each and every keyword and you use the keyword again. Every keyword has been used once again, right? And always have a CTA, which could be literally anything. You can say if you're someone who's interested, in finance, accounting, etc., whatever else, it could be the stock market, whatever you're passionate about. Or if you're someone who is also enthusiastic about, let's say marketing, etc., etc., feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, or feel free to DM me on LinkedIn. Feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out to me on your email. Some people put their phone number also if they're comfortable. But have a call to action so that when a person has spent their valuable time getting to know more about you, whatever it is, some basic information about you, after that, they shouldn't be clueless that what do I do with this information? Send them somewhere. There has to be a CTA. Okay. So that's about your about section. Experience is a pretty self-explanatory section. Just one thing I would like to point out here. Everyone can, by the way, for the students here, experience section will contain your internships. It will contain your industrial trainings, part-time jobs, full-time jobs, any entrepreneurial venture of yours that you start, campus ambassador programs, and freelance work. What it would not contain is any kind of volunteering work you do for NGOs and NPOs or charitable organizations, any kind of club, chapter, or society you have been working for in your college, or any cultural or technical fest you're organizing for your college. All of that goes in a volunteering experience section, which we'll come to. Okay. Just clarifying that. So let's go here. Every experience, I'm sure all of you can add your titles, you can add what kind of an employment type it was, company name, location, duration. What people don't fill is this section called description. Very important to fill it up. You should have at least 2 to 3 bullet points explaining what you're doing there, right? Because people don't just want to know your role and where you're working and your location. They want to know that what kind of an impact you're creating in the organization, what technologies are you working on, right? What is it that you're bringing to the table for the organization? So please add 2 to 3 bullet points explaining that. You can also add any relevant media to that job role, which could be things like, let's say you got a promotion letter or something and you're allowed to show it publicly, or you won an award or something, and you can add a link to it or an image of it as well, right? Just to make your profile more credible if you have anything to display. And if you actually scroll down, everything that I've done before KPMG are my internships. And if you see, every experience has got an explanation, brief explanation, right? I've also put media, right? Like, this is what I mean by media. I've put a certificate of completion for one of my internships. In fact, most of them, wherever I got it, I've put it. Here also, I've put an internship completion certificate. There are a couple of places where I put, yeah, here I've put a certificate of selection, LOR given to me by the founder, and a certificate of completion as well. So the point is, make your profile as wholesome, complete, and credible as possible. Credibility comes from just seeing something that they can validate. That's just how human beings work. When someone sees an LOR or a certificate of completion, their trust just triples. Okay. That's about the experience section. Let's move on to the next section, which is education. Again, it's, by the way, education section in general is going to be, more about, but the point is, in your education, feel free put your course, your college name, and societies. When you click on the edit option, just like I clicked on, very important to display. Okay. So please do that. And there's also a description section for education also. In case you were the best outgoing student, you won a national level competition, you were amongst the top 10% of your class, any extraordinary achievements that you want to display, you can add it in the description section of every education experience also. So that is that. Next, we move to licenses and certifications. Again, very self-explanatory section. Any kind of licenses, certifications you do from Coursera, Udemy, Skillshare, probably Masters Union, from Google, from any other organization. The point is that you add the most relevant ones to your profile right now, which in my case, clearly right now it's not updated, but please do that, because I think teaching everyone else, I haven't updated it in the order that way. Although, in fact, you can't, kind of have an order here. Whatever you put up will keep just going on the top, right? So the point is, just one thing I want to point out here is, when you click on show credential on any of my certifications, you'll actually be able to see my certification, or the certificate that I've got from the e-learning platform or institution. And that is really, really important. Okay. So what I would request you to do is, most of the e-learning platforms today provide your credential ID and a credential URL. Okay, most of them. Please add that here in these two fields people don't fill. When you'll fill it, anyone can come and click on this, and like, I showed you my certificate, people will be able to come on your profile, land on it, and actually go and see your certifications. Especially in the finance domain, I know you guys, I mean, certifications are super important for you. So if you can please highlight them and add any kind of ID or even a PDF URL or a Google Drive URL where you have uploaded the certification, and maybe people can click on it and see it. Or rather, you should even add it in your featured section and here, right? Both the places. So that'll be great, right? That builds more trust, like I already mentioned. So that's about licenses and certifications. After which, I'm going to move on to volunteering experience, which is the next section. So this is the volunteering experience section, which I spoke about already. Any club, chapter, organization from your college, NGO, NPO you volunteer for, etc. All of that comes here, right? You can put the name of the organization, duration, what you were doing there. There's a description section for volunteering experience also, just like education and experience. And you can describe what you're doing there as well. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Skills, super important. You can add up to 50 skills. If you can see here, show all 50 skills. You can add up to 50 skills, but it's better than see all your 50 skills. So make sure your top 3 skills are something you're super and you want people to know you for. Area, one of the last areas. In fact, also while describing your day-to-day work and your achievements in your experience section, when you're putting the bullet points, like I told you, there also you can put up those keywords. Okay, that's another area where all the keywords can be used once again, by the way. And I have used a couple of them, not very rigorously, but you can, because SEO will happen there as well, right? These areas where you're typing in anything, or even in your education per se. But like I was mentioning, one thing that you need to understand, your top 3 skills should be picked from the keywords used in your headline and banner and about section. They should ideally be picked from those sections. Okay. And that's what I've done. I've picked up interpersonal skills, management consulting, and public speaking. I have used these keywords all throughout my profile a couple of times, either while explaining my experience section, or in my headline, or in my banner, or in my about section. And those are my top 3. So you can reverse engineer also. Maybe think about your top 3 skills first, put them up. Then obviously by default use those top 3 skills in your headline, also in your banner about section also. But please understand, banner and headline and about section are not restricted to just 3 things. You can add a lot more keywords and things, right? But at least your first 3 will be sorted then. I think this will be better. You guys can start with your top 3 skills. Keep them in mind, which you think are your top 3 skills you want to be known for. And then automatically those 3 skills, those 3 keywords at least will need to be there in your banner, on your headline, on your about section. And then obviously you add on to other things, because you will not just have 3 in the other sections, right? Make sure you get endorsements from either your juniors, your colleagues, your boss, or your professors, anybody who has basically been working with you and can vouch for your skills. Make sure that they come and endorse you for those skills. Okay. You'll have to go and ask people to endorse you for your skills, but I think that's okay. You shouldn't shy away from it. No one's going to come in anyways, just give an endorsement that way. But yes, what that then happens is, the moment you cross 99 endorsements, it becomes 99 plus, no matter what number it is. And then people who are working with you, or someone who's highly skilled at it, comes and endorses you. That starts showing on your profile. And what that does again is builds trust. Because I can say I'm good at public speaking, but what do other people have to say? When 100, 150, 200 more people apart from me also say so, then people start believing it. We all go via reviews, right? So So that's what it is. So please do that. Recommendations is just like your LOR section when you ask for an LOR from your professor or manager before going for a master's or MD and to submit it. So recommendations are just that on LinkedIn. Again, it's not necessary someone senior to you can only write your recommendation. It could be your junior, it could be your colleague, it could be a batchmate, professor, anybody. Someone who has worked with you and is ready to pen down a couple of lines about their experience of working with you. Right? That's it. They should be on LinkedIn because otherwise you can't ask them for a recommendation. Those are the only two prerequisites. And then you can send them a recommendation request. Tell them how valuable it would be for you if they, recommend, write you a recommendation and how it would add value to your profile and, etc. And then just get a recommendation, right? Yes, so I've got recommendations, by the way, from my workshop attendees, from my one-on-one, mentoring session mentees, then from my startup founders who I'm helping in various ways as a freelancer, from my colleagues at KPMG, from my professors back in college. I've got about 63 recommendations, so I'm not going to go all the way down. But the earliest ones were from my professors back in college. So you can get it from anybody who has worked with you and is ready to share a couple of lines. Courses is a section I would recommend you to skip. I always forget deleting it. This is basically the educational subjects you study as a part of your academic qualification, whatever it is you're doing, DBA, CA, you're doing MBA, engineering, it's not needed, really. Project section is important. Any kind of projects you build on during your college, at your workplace, as a freelancer, any projects you're working with, working on. Project titles, give a project description, what you did in that project, what kind of tech stack you used, if any, what kind of tools you were using, etc. You can just put a description and add all your projects. Honors and awards during an internship in college can be added here. They could be in the cultural space or the educational space. Languages, just to show how, what kind of a diverse personality you are and you understand different cultures, etc. If you want to show it, you can. I think it's always an asset. Organizations is a repetitive section again because you are essentially adding all the organizations you worked at, which is already covered either in the volunteering experience section or experience section. So skip it. One last thing. When you click on add profile section, like I told you, that one button will take you everywhere. Okay, whatever I've shown you. There's a career break section introduced by LinkedIn on 1st of April on their latest update in April. That gives you the beautiful opportunity to talk about career breaks, which are normal, which are healthy, and which is okay. And that's what they are propagating through it. But the only thing is, there are about 13 reasons or 13 options out of which you have to choose one. Why were you on a career break and explain it very well? And that's it, right? So I think that's wonderful. Please utilize it if you were on one. Feature section, I told you, licenses and certifications, I told you, recommendations, courses, we spoke about. In additional section, publications. If you have any if you have any research papers that you've published, you can add them here. I don't have any, so I don't have that section. Any patents under your name, you can add them. Project section, we already spoke about. Honors and awards, we spoke about. Test scores, CAT exam, GMAT score, GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, any other test scores that you want to add, you can add here. Languages, we spoke about. Organizations, yes. Last thing is causes. Any causes you really stand by, it could be animal welfare, child education, whatever, can be added from here. And if you look at my display picture, it's a static display picture, but if you click on it, you can also view my profile video. So about 8 to 9 months ago, LinkedIn introduced a feature called Cover Story, where you can upload a 30-second short intro video of yourself. Highly encourage people who are not camera conscious to please upload a 30-second brief intro about yourself. It makes the profile even the more visual. And just imagine a person just landing on your profile, quickly watches the video in 30 seconds and understands what you do. And if they find it valuable, then for whatever reason it is, whether it's to offer you a job, offer you an internship, or collaborate with you, they'll reach out to you even the more quicker. So I'm not going to stay on that page quite long. You can check it out later, but I'm just going to show how it looks, right? So you can always go back and check it. But that's my intro cover story. With that, I've covered everything I had to in terms of every section of your profile that you need to optimize. And that's how you increase your visibility and your searchability and discoverability. And only when your profile is visible will recruiters be able to discover you and know, okay, you even exist, you have this skill set, and then probably, give you those opportunities, right? Or even just utilize or kind of, choose your profile over others when they are looking out for people on LinkedIn. So that's how it's going to work. And with that, I think I am ready to take up any questions that you have for me. How does it look? look for an internship through LinkedIn? I'll quickly summarize on this. This is a very important question. I think others are a little repetitive, and I'll take one more after this. So once whatever I told you right now is done, which is you have optimized your profile completely, after that, what you need to do is you need to start curating content. That's very important. Please understand, content creators aren't the only people who need to create content on LinkedIn or to put posts on LinkedIn. In fact, it's just about knowledge sharing. And let me tell you, what can you start with? Let's say you're a student, you have no experience also, or you're experienced. The point is just share what you know in your field, in your niche, in your domain. I started sharing career tips and resume building tips, etc., as and when I started learning on it and helping my mentees, right? So similarly, if you are in the finance niche and you know specifically what you're studying, whatever, let's say you're a CA aspirant and you are preparing for your exams, you're studying your subjects, you can start sharing your daily learnings every day, or start talking about a particular subject that you're really good at and you think you can maybe, share and learn along with people. So it could be literally anything. You could also be in one field but be interested in something else. Let's say you are pursuing your CA but you're interested in marketing. You can very well go ahead and create posts around marketing campaigns and dissect them, put your view forward about them. You can literally do anything. But till the time you don't do it, people will not be able to discover you. The only way for people to discover you on LinkedIn is through your post, because your post gets shown to thousands of people, and then relevant people start seeing it, and then they're like, okay, this person possesses these skills, because you'll put yourself out there, create a personal brand for yourself in that niche over a period of time, and people will start knowing you for it. Like today, people know me as a career coach, people know me as a content creator, people know that I help with resume building and LinkedIn profile building and career guidance. That's what they reach out to me for. I don't have to necessarily tell them this is what I do. It's taken me about a year and 7 months to be able to build that brand and recall value. And had I not put content around my niche again and again, people wouldn't know that. Similarly, even from the recruiter standpoint, while I was never looking for a job on LinkedIn, because I became active on LinkedIn after I had a job, right, with KPMG. But I keep getting a lot of job offers on LinkedIn, by the way. And why that happens is, and I also landed 5 internships using LinkedIn. Why that happens is because number one, my profile is optimized, which we have learned today. And number two, because I create content and I put myself out there and people know what my skill set exactly is, because I've displayed it via multiple posts and my videos. So people know exactly what I can do and what I'm capable of, and that's why they reach out to me themselves. Okay. But if you're looking for an internship, I would say after all of this is done, even the profile optimization is done, content creation bit is done. If you want to do outreach yourself, please go to LinkedIn company pages of the companies you want to intern at. Start following their company page, number one, because only then you will get notified if they put up any job listing or they put up any internship listing, or if they put up a post where they're hiring. Over and above that, if you want to reach out to the recruiters, go to the people tab on any LinkedIn company page that you want to work with and search for the keywords human resource manager, HR, recruiter, talent acquisition manager, because these are the people who hire, right? No point of connecting with people already working there. What they can do at the max is, if you are able to convince them and impress them, maybe give you a referral or just tell you what the work culture really is like, etc. See, an employer of a company cannot give you a job there. A recruiter is someone who gets brings talent to the firm. That's basic logic. So connect with the recruiters. Don't send a direct connection request. Please send a personalized invite. You have an option to send a personalized invite. You have up to 300 characters you can fill there. Just give a brief introduction about yourself. And apart from that, just talk about them. Make sure you go through their profile very well. Find something common between the two of you, or appreciate their journey, their career path, whatever they have done. Just make them feel valuable in the beginning. Never ask for an internship or a job in the first message. You will never get it that way. Take the conversation ahead after the ice breaking thing is done. Then talk a little bit about yourself, your skill set, your experience, what you've done, what you can do for their firm. And then tell them maybe in the third or the fourth message that you're looking forward for an internship opportunity, specifically in what domain, what area, and why do you think you deserve it, and why should they give you that opportunity. People don't do that. And trust me, I'm not saying that this is 100% going to work, but people will at least start valuing and accepting your connection requests a lot more if you send a personalized invite, because recruiters get thousands of connection requests every day. Okay. So make sure you put a personalized invite and take the conversation forward that way. I think while there are a lot of questions, I'm just going to take one last question, guys, because we are running very short on time as well. But please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to answer your questions. I'm sorry if I missed any. if I wasn't able to. I'll quickly answer one question that I feel is relevant and I can answer it. How to get endorsements for skills? So basically, you'll have to, there's a settings in the skill section where you have to be open to accepting endorsements, which means you're open to letting people come and endorse you. That's it. And after that, people have to do that job. They'll have to come on your profile. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Also, on that note, I want to let you all know that there is a finance and accounting test or a competency test of sorts that are actually happening tomorrow. It's being conducted by day after tomorrow, sorry, Saturday, 21st of May, and it's happening from 3 p.m. It's a 15-minute test, and Masters Union is basically conducting it. And in case you want to validate your basic business acumen, your analytical skills, etc., which is required in the finance domain, make sure that you can take up that test. What Nisha will do is she share the link as well. If you want to take up the competency test on finance and accounting, do make sure you register. I think it's a great opportunity. It's free of cost, by the way. So it's good to make use of the opportunity, right? Traditional resume is going to replace with LinkedIn. No, your resume will have its importance, and LinkedIn is completely different. Okay, LinkedIn is a digital social media platform. It's a professional networking platform. Resume is a piece of paper. It's a document which is customized for a job role. You cannot customize your LinkedIn profile to every job role you're applying to. And on LinkedIn, you can connect with people, create content, etc. Resume is just a professional document. So you cannot compare the two at all, right? I think that's it from my side, guys. Thank you so much for being an amazing audience. I'm really sorry if I couldn't answer a lot of questions. But yeah, I just hope you found it valuable.
Absolutely. I think we learned a lot, and how you showed us a live example of leveraging your LinkedIn profile. That was very helpful. Thanks a ton. Always a pleasure listening to you, and I'm sure everybody benefited amply from the session. Thanks a ton, everyone, for joining. Thank you so much, Dhairya, for your time. Really incredible. Look forward to having you again, hosting you
Thanks,
again.
Nisha.